Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Focus on Fairmont. And it's all about Fairmont. Today we're going to be talking about Fairmont's birthday. I know what you're saying. When is it? I'm glad you asked. It's Friday. This coming Friday, the 7th of February. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but it's February the 7th. Fairmont will be 118 years old.
Yes, sir.
And what we're going to do is give you a little capsule view of history of Fairmont, and then Mr. Chestnut's going to come in and talk about some of the issues that are relating to a 118-year-old town. Now, what made Fairmont was, first of all, a name. Before that, it was Union City uh, and Ashpole. Ashpole because of all the ashpole trees in the swamps around here. Union City, I guess they were trying to, it's after the Civil War, so they were trying to bring everybody back together again. But Fairmont was stolen. Mr. Frank Blue, who was a bank official here in town, was the mayor of Fairmont, and he had his town clerk investigate the possibility of adopting a name from a town in Davidson County, North Carolina, that had stopped using the name. I don't know why he chose that one. Maybe he liked the way it sounded. Maybe it had a ring to it. But anyway, they appealed to the state legislature. The legislature gave us the name. We adopted it, and then the Davidson County people got all upset and wanted it back. It was too late. After that, Fairmont grew because of tobacco, because of agriculture, cotton and pulp, lumber. We had the largest lumber mill in the South in this town.
Wow.
In the late 19 teens and up into the Depression. Out of Whaleyville, Virginia, the Beaufort County Lumber Company employed 500 people.
Wow.
Every house in North Fairmont,
Wow.
the ones that have been replaced, the new ones don't count. The original houses, every single one of them were employee houses.
Wow.
And they were called cookie cutter houses. They were all built the same way. In fact, the drainage issues at Rosenwald School years back were because that's where the lumber mill actually sat. And it was all swampy and pulpy and that kind of thing. I know what you're saying. How do you know all this stuff? Because I'm good like that. No, I'm a history teacher. I worked at the museum for 4 straight years, from 2014 to 2017, and I researched every piece of document there during those. I had nothing else to do, just the time I was there during the day. Um, Tobacco, agriculture, climate, wonderful. Railroad was built here. Take the cotton and the tobacco and the pulp or the wood away. Perfect situation. And then in 1937, Charlie Stafford came here, beckoned here by the tobacco warehouseman to improve tobacco, and he blew it up. Yeah, he blew the place up. He really did. We became the biggest little tobacco market in the world. I can't tell you how many people. You may be listening to this right now and say, well, I did that. I can't tell you how many people said to me they slept on the back of tobacco piles on the back of their father's truck, waiting for the morning to come so they could be pulled in and offloaded and put their tobacco in place. When I was 12 years old, the only thing I ever wanted to do in my life was to be a tobacco auctioneer. I went to every single tobacco sale, first sale. We had 4 sets of buyers in this town, a town of about 2,000 people. That's unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. But because of the tobacco volume, we had to have that.
Yeah.
Had to have 4 sets of buyers. Lumberton only had 2 sets.
Wow.
Yeah, Wilson had 5, but they're much bigger than ours.
Yes, sir.
So we were the tobacco capital of the world at one time. And then the government got cute with tobacco and hemp, and NAFTA was passed and killed textiles, and we've struggled for the last 30 or 40 years.
Most definitely.
And then we brought Mr. Chestnut in to save us. What are you doing, Mr. Chestnut? Tell them a little bit about from your perspective how we can. I gave you the short version of the history. We could be here all day. I would run the battery out in our videographer's camera before I could run out of things to say about the history of Fairmont. But I'm not going to monopolize the time. Let Mr. Chestnut talk a little bit about his end.
Most definitely, Mr. Mayor. And for the viewers out there, Fairmont has a storied history as an older town. But as we know through everything we deal with on a daily basis, that comes with its own set of problems, you know. So, you know, some of our earliest buildings here was built in the early 1900s, and that means that there's old infrastructure in this town. Well, you know, going from the 1900s to currently 2025, some of those things will start to be replaced in this town. Our citizens will see work on water and infrastructure and sewer projects in this very year. It's all about a new year, new beginning, lots of construction projects. You and I spoke earlier how I went out and looked at a new pump station that's being built between here and Orem that's supposed to relieve some of the drainage and sewer problems down in the Oldfield community. Right. That project is coming on work well, and we look to see that project completed over the next 90 days. And then we got our 15 millions in sewer rehab work that citizens will see ground broken up. They will see holes around the town where things are getting repaired for the future, you know. And again, you and I talked about, you know, keeping the town alive, knowing that our birthday is coming up, knowing that all the things that this town has been through in this history, we get the chance to turn this town around. We get the chance to break new ground, build new stuff, replace old stuff, and look towards a brighter future as we build our new town hall and other facilities going forth during this year.
I don't want to be gone. I'll say this in the nicest way I know how. I don't want to be gone. I've held the office of mayor and town commissioner for 45 years.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be gone 10, 15, 20 years from now and someone else sit in this chair and he's someone else is sitting in his chair and say, well, I'll tell you what, those people in the teens, the 2000s, the millennium people, they didn't do anything. We've heard all this stuff about Fairmont was great and this and that and the other, and then this crowd came in here and the place flooded and everybody drowned and, you know, that kind of thing. We're not going to let that happen.
That's right.
But you have to understand, just like if you don't have all the money you need to go shopping, you may have to buy less, or you may have to wait until you get double what you got. We can't go out and do stuff unless we have the money. The federal government's not going, I'm sorry, oh, it was you, it's Charles, it's Fairmont, it's Jerome. Yeah, just whatever you want.
We got it.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. We have to have the money. And it's a struggle for this man, but he has raised an enormous amount of money in the last 2 years, 3 years. Just enormous amount for a small town. So that's what it's at. That's what it's about. If we have the money, we've got the engineers that can help us do the things that we need to make Fairmont continue to move forward.
Most definitely.
And happy birthday to us.
That's
and
right.
If you don't know anything about Fairmont, if you like the longer version, I'd be more than happy to give it to you. I got a telephone, I got a cell phone, I got an office phone, I got an office, the door is open all the time. You're welcome to come in here. You want to talk to me? Fine. Mr. Chestnut doesn't know as much history as I do.
That's right.
And you want to talk military stuff, he can probably keep you going for about 2 or 3 hours.
That's right.
But I know a lot about the Fairmont, town of Fairmont, and I'd be more than honored to share what I have with you. But let's remember, others that are no longer with us built this town. Right. And we are not, I'll make this as a public pledge on my part, I am not going to stand here or sit here and destroy this town or see that it's destroyed or see that it's not the best it can possibly be. I'd never be able to look at any of them's graves or think of their names anymore.
That's right. It's all about the future.
Absolutely.